Far too many of us have unknowingly settled into patterns of negative and limiting mindsets, holding us back and keeping us from stepping into the full potential of our lives. It's the reason why two different people, standing at the exact same stage in life, with the same resources, the same job, and even the same challenges, can have entirely different outcomes. One person starts their week dwelling on everything they wish was different, focusing on lack and limitation. The other begins with gratitude, embracing the opportunities ahead with enthusiasm and purpose. The difference? Mindset. Two people can face the same opportunity, yet one will see only the potential pitfalls, the risks, the possible failures, the reasons why it might not work. Meanwhile, the other sees the possibilities, the ways it could succeed, the doors it could open. It all begins in the mind. Our lives move in the direction of our strongest thoughts. The reality we experience today is largely shaped by the thoughts we have allowed to take root in our minds over time. King Solomon, one of the wisest men to ever live, wrote these words over 3,000 years ago. As a person thinks in his heart, so is he. What we meditate on most shapes our actions, our decisions, and ultimately, the trajectory of our lives. If you want to know what kind of person you will become in the next 2 years, simply look at the thoughts and beliefs you are embracing today. Your future, who you will be as a father, a leader, a friend, a spouse, is being determined by what you allow to take root in your mind right now. So, what thoughts are you feeding? What are you focusing on? Because that will determine the life you create. It's time to realign our thinking. It's time to shift our mindset and step into the fullness of who God created us to be. Every single one of us was intentionally designed with purpose. God, who formed you in your mother's womb, placed you in this exact moment in history for a reason. He has a role for you to play, a mission for you to fulfill, and a life of meaning beyond what you can even comprehend. He wants you to walk in freedom, to be renewed, and to be transformed into the person He created you to be. But here's the key. Transformation begins in the mind. If you want to see change in your life, it starts with changing your thinking. A simple yet powerful practice is to find a truth from God's Word, write it down, repeat it, and believe it. Speak it over your life until it becomes your reality. Research has even shown that for every one negative thought, we should counter it with 3 positive truths. When we do this, our thought patterns begin to shift. New mental pathways are formed, and our minds are renewed, just as Paul wrote in the Bible. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice that he didn't say transformation begins with new actions or external changes. It starts in the mind. Change your thoughts, and you change your life. Jesus himself declared, "I came that they may have life and have it to the full." That full life is not one of fear, anxiety, doubt, or self-condemnation. It is one of peace, confidence, faith, and purpose. Yet, how often do we look in the mirror and let our minds fill with lies? Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "I'm a failure," "I'll never measure up." But those thoughts are not from God. The truth is, He says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He loves you more than you could ever imagine. You are so valuable to Him that He sent His own Son to die for you, to redeem you, and to restore your relationship with Him. So if God, the Creator of the universe, says you are worthy, why believe anything less? With God's help, You have the power to change your mind and, in turn, change your life. How you see yourself is one of the most influential forces shaping your reality. Your self-perception can either fuel your faith or cripple it. If you believe you are incapable, unworthy, or stuck, you will act accordingly. But if you see yourself through God's eyes as chosen, loved, blessed, and equipped, you will rise to that truth. Perspective is everything. Is the glass half empty or half full? Is life full of obstacles or full of opportunities? Do you see yourself as a failure? Or do you recognize that failure is merely an event, not an identity? Take Gideon, for example. When God called him a mighty man of valor, Gideon was hiding, fearful, and feeling defeated. He saw himself as weak, incapable, and insignificant. But God saw something different in him: potential, strength, and leadership. And when Gideon began to believe what God said about him, everything changed. He stepped into his calling and led his people to victory. The same is true for us. We must shift our thoughts to align with the truth of who God says we are. The mind is a battlefield, and life is either won or lost in our thoughts. We all have failures. We all make mistakes. But failure is not our identity. You are not a failure unless you quit trying. In fact, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simply this: the willingness to get back up one more time. So don't let your mistakes define you. Don't let the voices of doubt or criticism drown out the truth of who God says you are. He says you are chosen. He says you are loved. He says you are gifted, anointed, and called for a purpose. But walking in that truth won't be easy. Jesus never said that the path to life would be simple. He said it would be hard. But hard things prepare us for great things. Just like building a new habit takes time and effort, transforming our thinking requires daily intentionality. Studies show that it takes about 30 days to develop a habit that could change the next 30 years of your life. So why not start today? Tune into trust. Even in the middle of success, it may feel like failure. Growth is not always instant. It's a process. Success doesn't happen in a single day. It happens through daily choices, daily shifts in our mindset, and daily alignment with the truth. What would happen if every negative thought in your mind was amplified through a megaphone? Would you be embarrassed by what you say to yourself? If so, it's time to change the channel. Just like switching off a TV show you don't want to watch, you can choose to change the narrative in your mind. Instead of dwelling on negativity, shift your focus to God's truth. Wake up each morning with gratitude. Declare His goodness over your life. Choose to meditate on His loving kindness. Let His word be the diet of your mind. Start the day by saying, God, thank you for today. Thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you that you are good, and you have great plans for me. You and I have a choice. No one else can make it for us. The thoughts we embrace today will shape the life we live tomorrow. So, what will you choose?